Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Aurora ZX Gaming here, and today I'm going to be going over my warspite setup. Um, my warspite is set up as a secondary build, essentially. I run Charles Madden as my commander, and I have him at level 11. Um, I have him built completely around secondaries. Um, Aim and fire, which increases your traverse speed and your reload time. That's a standard perk. That's what he comes with out of the box. I run brawler, porcupine, firefighter, master mechanic, and will to rebuild. Um, I don't care to run running with scissors. I prefer to run will to rebuild because the warspite has a really nice heal. Um, you could take on second thought instead of firefighter. However, I'm actually going to take second thought because I have damage control as my second perk or second modification. Yeah. Um, Porcupine, range of secondary battery increase, precision and dispersion decrease. Um, this is essentially the brawling commander. If you ever get a commander and one of his perks is Porcupine, he's specifically for brawling, meaning close distance, get close. Brawler, um, reload time decrease, torpedo visibility range increase, but you do lose range. So my warspite, instead of having the 16.1 kilometer range that it comes with if I run the other British commander, Andrew Cunningham, I believe I have a 13.9 kilometer range. But I'm also running Cunningham to increase the precision because I don't normally, if the ship is not good on secondaries, I will run an accuracy build because I really like slapping people in their citadels. Um, but what I've noticed is the dispersion can kind of get very iffy at longer ranges with the warspite with this setup. So I prefer to run Andrew Cunningham over anybody else. And then the second perk I have, or the second inspiration I have, is Franz von Hipper. Range of secondary battery plus 8.25%. Now, all of that together equals, or excuse me, all of that together, including the secondary battery mod, which will increase your firing range and your dispersion, decrease your dispersion, um, and the damage control because I love to get up close, which means I'm going to take fires and I'm going to I'm going to get set on fire. I'm going to take torpedoes. That's inevitable. But with the warspite, she's a very good ship at dropping speed when turning. So, pardon me. If you are if you see torpedoes incoming and you can slow down and turn towards them or away from them, you will bleed off a lot of speed in the warspite. She's very good at that. It's one of the things that I love about her. I just run uh, a speed boost. Is all I run. A speed boost. That's all I prefer to run. I'm not gonna go over the war. I can go over the warspite stats too. 53, 800 hit points, 330 millimeters of armor. Torpedo reduction is 22%. That's not bad. Um, my firing range is 14 kilometers, 26.5 second reload time with a 180-degree turn time of 53 seconds. HE shell is 5300. Of course, you have the British HE shell, which is semi armor piercing. Um, you can score citadels with the HE on really lightly armored cruisers. AP shell is 11,400. British AP usually is not as strong as, say, American or Japanese or German when they come out. But the warspite gets the regular AP mechanics, such as, for example, Japan. American AP is super heavy. German AP is the second best in the game, compared to American. And then you have Japanese and British. Um, the thing with the British AP is they have a shorter fuse, meaning it usually arms and explodes before it gets to the citadel. So that's why one thing that you notice that I will do in a warspite when I'm up close is, or let's say if I was in a Queen Elizabeth, a lot of my friends have told me that this is what they do. They will aim for the upper belt instead of the lower belt. The upper belt is a lot weaker, so you can usually get through all of that into the citadel and explode in the citadel and do damage. But if you're not good enough at aiming, um, you will run into the problem where sometimes you won't get citadels when you normally would in, say, an American battleship, a Japanese battleship, German battleship when they come out, or Warspite. Warspite gets regular AP mechanics. The secondary build or the secondaries, I've got 4 by 2 102 millimeter um, turrets, 2 on each side with double barrels. That's 4, which means in total I have 8 on each side. Because I have 4 152 millimeter guns. I don't like that reload time. I've never noticed that reload time is 8.6, but they pack quite a punch. They do 2200 HE shell damage. Um, but the biggest kicker here is that 6.9 kilometer range. It catches people off guard. I've actually scared some destroyers before with that range, especially on lower health. Usually, what I do is I will actually ignore a low health destroyer. Watch for torpedoes, but I will usually ignore and let the secondaries work him over unless he's like, you know, specifically trying to kill me. AA defense, mediocre. It's not the warspite's strength. Even though she's a Queen Elizabeth class, she's not as good as the Queen Elizabeth's AA. Um, which in the game right now, it's really not a big deal. Maneuverability, maximum speed is 24.2, turning circle is 550, rudder shift is 14.2. She handles amazing. I love the way she handles. She's not the quickest, but she turns on a dime. Concealment, 13.6, range by sea, detectability by sea, 11.4 by air. The secondary build on my warspite is very, very nice. And let's compare that to, say, the Scharnhorst, who we all know and love, and we all know that she has really strong secondaries because she's a German battleship. German battleships, to make up for the fact that their dispersion is lackluster, they have really good secondaries. Um, my Scharnhorst right now currently only goes out to 6.5. Now, given that is because I do not have celiacs. If I had celiacs, it would probably be longer ranged than my warspite. But right now, my warspite is my longest range secondary ship. Uh, and they still haven't added the additional secondaries that are actually on the Scharnhorst compared to when they showed it in the Discord. But that's pretty much it. The Warspite is a very good ship. She's got the British Citadel, which sits really, really low, practically underneath the water line. She's very, very hard to Citadel up close. You can get Citadeled up close, though. Do not think it is a German battleship. You will get Citadeled up close, but it's a lot harder than, say, an American battleship or a Japanese battleship. Um, Plunging fire, you have to worry about that. I've also discovered really awkwardly you can get Citadeled back here. So she must have a really, really large citadel underneath here, or it's a little bit easier to get to in the back, which is acceptable because, the back end, your stern of your ship is usually a little lightly armored. Usually less armored than, say, the bow of the ship. But a little known fact is the torpedo bulges count as armor, which is why sometimes you will go through, if you aim just above the torpedo belt, you'll go in and you'll get a citadel. If you aim right at the torpedo belt, you might not. You might not have the penetration to get there. But the thing that I love about Charles Madden is he's got 4 heals, and there's been times in a game where I've gone down to 15,000 health and come back to 34, 34, 38. So, but she's a very, very nice ship. I love her to death. It's one of my favorite ships in the game. I'm not a big fan of the just 102 millimeters. I don't like the fact that it only has these 4 on each side, but they are double barreled and they do shoot at 3 seconds each. So you do get quite a few. I've gotten quite a few hits with my secondaries in my warspite. I've gotten upwards of 70 to 80 at one time before. But that is all, folks. Hopefully soon. I'm currently grinding the Nagato. I just unlocked her. I am hoping to get through this beast of a ship and get a video out on her soon. But that is all today, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe. This is Aurora ZX Gaming, signing off.